First thing is the minutes of the previous
I'll
meeting.
move we approve.
Moved by John for approval,
Second.
seconded by Lena. All those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous of 3. I'm gonna be a little short-winded before we start the meeting. I read in the paper and I heard on the selectmen's meeting that they're gonna change the name of Cemetery Street to Sinahella Way Drive.
Yep.
And I think that's a great honor for a woman who did a great service to this town for the amount of years. She had a lot of knowledge and she was great to work with. John and I
Yep.
did what, 10, I did,
A lot of years.
yeah, a lot of years. And I think it's a great honor for Sina and for the town, what she did, so.
Very good.
Hearing that, 81 Ps, John.
First one, checks and form.
Get a check, $160.
Good evening, John Nennett with Gary and Howland Engineering. I'm here tonight to present a Form A. This is 3 parcels of land down by the town parking lot at the corner of Main Street and East Main Street. We had some problems with this back property line, establishing the back property line. Originally, the deeds read to a pond that was back here. The pond got filled approximately about 1930, I believe. And we did have some old maps of it prior to it being filled, which we overlaid. But there's a fence line that runs along the back of all 3 of these lots. All 3 of these lots had houses on them. And actually, bounds were set along the fence line at the lot corners at some point in time, which we located. So we established the property using the bounds and the fence line. As you can see, there's a fence line in the back with the town park. So we went to town meeting for an agreement on this property line, and we've agreed with, at town meeting, to establish that as the current property line. This is just a plan showing what was agreed upon at town meeting.
It's endorsable as submitted. Okay.
Any questions from the board?
No. Move we
Looks good to
approve.
me.
Moved by John, we approve.
I'll second that.
Second by Sina. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous of 3. Okay, John?
Okay, the second 81P we have is for the Consigli Family Trust, 50 Blanchard Road. It was 81P that was done in 2000 that was endorsed by the planning board. In fact, Dave, you endorsed it, and John, you endorsed it. At the time it was originally endorsed, the Consigli family went for a variance to leave the house, the large house, on the existing larger lot where it was with the setbacks that it currently has, and to create a second 8,000 square foot single-family lot that meets current zoning. They never recorded the easement within the year, so the 81P is invalid to be recorded because the variance was never recorded within a year. So we went back to ZBA recently, reacquired the variance to leave the house on the existing lot with the current setbacks and create another single-family house lot. Same plan that was presented in 2000.
Why didn't it ever get recorded?
Have no idea.
You know,
It would've went to the family and nothing was ever done. I don't know.
What year was that again?
2000.
2000,
Yeah.
wow.
huh?
I know.
They'll find who's gonna pay.
Oh, that's true. It's endorsable as
Go
submitted.
ahead. I move,
Moved by Sina to...
No, Lena.
Yeah, Sina. I
I
got,
need a street named after each other.
once I start thinking about it, that's it. I'm sorry, Lena. It's,
Oh, that's, don't be sorry about that, that's a good.
moved
that's a
by
good thing.
Lena aside, seconded by John. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous of 3.
Thank you. Thank you to the board.
You're welcome, John.
Have a nice night.
I know it was a long wait, but,
Raring to go.
He's on the clock for crying.
I'll take my time now. All set. I was just, I want to make sure that, no one else rushed in ahead of us. Put up with Mr. Nenna. I know he does.
knew I was gonna be quick.
All right. It's the home practices golf swing, so.
Need to practice my golf. You need to get Chad practicing his golf.
Wow. Well, I'm here tonight with Chad Boardman from Eastland Partners, and we're here to discuss briefly the rail trail, which you're all familiar with, having issued a special permit that allowed the applicant to substitute the work on the rail trail for other public service and works that were originally planned, and also to eliminate the over 55 restriction in what is a continually very successful development off of Cedar Street. In fact, I think they're moving much ahead of schedule relative to the construction of houses, which is why we got to this point. Your special permit decision stated that the building permits were to stop at 110, which is the number of units that would have been allowed without any bonus units. And what happened was, I think that the building department thought that it was occupancy permits stopped at 110. So some building permits were issued over the 110th. When we all came to it, and Larry found it at the time, I actually came across it as part of the bank work that I do, because Eastland has a relationship with the bank that I do work for. We all got together quickly and said, we have to correct this. Now, your decision, that was the amended decision, said that the building permits were tied in except if a bond was put in place. So what we have done is we've asked your staff to go out and get a determination of the value of the remainder of work left to be done, and Vonnie has done that. We have not questioned any of her numbers. The numbers that she submitted to your board, we're accepting her recommendation. We have gone back to Mutual One, which is a lender, which is the old Framingham Cooperative Bank. They just changed the name. And I was at the board meeting this morning, and the board approved the issuance of a letter of credit. Well, it's not a letter of credit, the tripartite agreement in the amount that was set on Vonnie's proposal. So I then prepared a tri-party agreement, which we've used here before on the Walden Woods projects, and I sent it off to Larry and Jerry yesterday. Jerry and Larry both had a couple of comments which we've incorporated in, so the document that you see in front of it has been reviewed by your town council, and but for my double placement of the dollar sign on the first page, I think I've done a pretty good job on my wordsmithing. Got it straightened out, but this tri-party agreement will be, we'd ask that you'd sign it. I will then bring it over to Mutual One. They will sign it on behalf of the bank, and Logan will sign it on behalf of the developer. Logan will have to sign a promissory note to our bank. It's a demand note obligating him to pay, so that if you were to call any money is on this, there would be a vehicle for us to give you the money, and you can do the work yourself, but obviously, nobody wants that to happen. So, I had originally done the agreement so that it automatically expired in October, which is the date, but then Jerry and I read the special permit together, and Larry had made the suggestion that actually, as long as the bond's there, we can have a little bit later than October to finish it. But Chad just got a brief summary of where we are on the rail trail, because I think it's important, because you've made a commitment to it, and Eastland is making a commitment to it. So why don't you just give me an update where we are,
Sure.
what's gonna be left to be done.
Chad, just before you continue, in your packet, Bonnie's letter with the number 3 up in the corner.
Yeah.
Is the cover letter. The attachment to that is the estimate that Joe was referring to, so that's how we arrived at the,
Okay.
she arrived at the dollar amount. Okay, sorry, Chad.
No, yeah, no problem. Sorry, this is an updated schedule. It's very similar to the one I submitted last year. You saw me every couple months anyways last year, we were building the trail. And it's very similar. We're still on the same scope as we were last year. We did actually a great amount of work last year, believe it or not. We managed to do the school project ahead of time, and that was worked out well. All fencing and stuff's been in place, which worked out tremendously good for the school and for us. We've got that job done. We actually did quite a bit of work heading towards Veterans Memorial. We've got about 500 feet or so left of stripping. We've encountered a little bit of ledge right before the frost moved in. So obviously that stopped us for right now. So
Yeah.
once the spring rolls around, probably in another 30, 45 days, we'll be getting back out there stripping that portion. But I just wanted, that's a brief summary of, early spring and summer and
Yeah.
fall, what typically will be happening. And of course, I'll be here, every month or so, giving you an update of where exactly we are and what we've accomplished. But we're looking forward to
Making good progress.
being done, this fall, so.
Making great progress.
Yeah.
I noticed over the
Looking
past
good, too.
few months, all the way past the church and
Yeah.
down by Haywood Street, all the
Especially
way
Hayward
across
up there.
Haywood Street,
Yeah.
that whole area.
We thought
was-
that would be a rough section.
Was that a
and,
rough time?
It was a rough section, yeah. We had to do a little bit more work to make it work, but
Yeah,
it
yeah.
worked out great, and it's actually going to be, we thought it would be the worst area scenic-wise, and actually, it's going to come out quite well.
It is,
Yeah,
huh?
Yeah, believe it or
Yeah.
not, yeah.
Will there be signs? Are you?
Yeah, there'll be sign designations
You are,
throughout, yeah. We're working
okay.
with Reno and the Trail Committee for
you are-
that. and-
Okay, all right, yeah.
We're also doing a little bit more drainage actually work for the town. Since our machines would be out there, there's a few drainage concerns with the, near Mount Pleasant Street and with the Oliva property. And
Oh, yes.
we're actually, with Vonnie, myself, and Scott from the Highway Department, are actually going to give it a shot to try to, correct some of the drainage out there. So we're doing a little bit of additional work, but since we'll be out there, we're going to work in conjunction with the town highway department, try to correct a few other things that really weren't on the list, but since we're there, we'll try to
That's
work it
great.
out for you guys.
That's very good.
But
That's
no, I
excellent.
appreciate that, so.
You going up by the Cerrone's at all? Or you just using that for our staging area?
Staging area, yeah, we were using that, it worked out quite well actually up there, so that's still up, presently, up there.
When you hit that ledge there, watch out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I pulled
Yeah,
it.
you guys are doing a great
We're
job.
pulling, they were doing sewer there.
Oh, are you?
Well, this years ago.
Oh, years ago, yeah.
I pulled it out.
Really?
Can't believe the water to come out of that ledge.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far so good, so
Yeah.
we're going
Great.
quite excited.
I'll say, any
Yeah,
further
I'm good.
questions?
I'm
Okay.
good. You're doing a great job.
Thanks.
I've
Oh, no.
noticed it.
Make a motion when we sign
All right, I'll move that we sign
the agreement.
the agreement.
A second.
Seconded
And
by
the-
John. Any further
figures.
discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous of 3.
Thank you.
What's your estimated time on the trail? When would you be finished, do you think?
I'm still thinking this late fall as
Still
originally
late fall?
projected. Yep, should be right on schedule. Everything goes
year.
right.
Just one
This year,
thing,
right? Yep.
Yeah, there are 2 originals.
2 documents, 1
I
signature,
only got 1 arrow.
just one per
There's
set.
one over there.
There's
There's
another
one
one.
page for you to sign, that's right.
With, right
Over
in-
here.
Right.
No, it's on the table with the
Right
yellow, with the yellow
The
tab.
next one's underneath you.
That one,
There you go.
same place.
Oh, you didn't say.
You gotta get purple
Well, you
stickers,
gotta have,
Joe.
you gotta have 2 of the same size, Harry.
Speaking of ledge, did anybody see the program on American Experience on PBS about the Penn Station?
I
and the
did,
reference
I
to
did,
Milford?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
It reminded me of, in the 4th grade when we had to learn all those places where the Milford Granite ended up.
Yeah, the Boston Public Library
Public
has
Library, yeah.
the Lincoln,
That's correct.
yeah.
The base
has
of the
it.
Lafayette Monument in Paris, France.
Yeah.
Really?
That's right, in Paris, France, that's
Don't
right.
lose that top.
Yeah. But it was nice when he said, that he picked lustrous granite from
He
Milford,
did.
Mass.
Is it
Is
still
this the only
lustrous?
place,
There you go.
John?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's all
On
marked
that
now.
one.
That's why we're here, Dave.
That's
That's
it.
on top.
You know that. Okay. That's why my ninnies ended up here.
Here you go.
You wanna put the clip back
You got
on
the
it,
clip?
Terry, the way it is on
Just
top?
gonna ask you if you all sign freely and voluntarily.
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
all over 18?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay?
little bit.
unfortunately, way over, way over.
Their driver's
Only because we couldn't get elected everywhere.
When you were young. All right, and then I
I
will
like that.
get right back to you.
So he's
and,
on phase 3 there?
I'll also have a copy of the recorded mortgage. Okay, which I think you should have.
Yep.
So
Thank you.
this won't be effective until we get that on record. Because the bank won't put the money up till then. So no more building permits till I get these back. You hear that?
I do.
Thank you very much. Thanks for all your
Yeah,
help.
thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
it as
Thank you.
always. Thanks.
Yep.
Good seeing you all.
Thank you.
Good seeing you
Good night.
both, and thank you for all your
Take care of
good
the
works.
ailment.
Are you having a replacement there?
Yeah, I just had an ACL, MCL surgery.
Oh, okay.
I got-
Nice sports.
I got two fake, I got two fake
He
knees.
has to be a wild man.
Okay.
That's it? Nothing else for you tonight?
Just got a couple more, yeah. Waiver of site plan.
You can stay. Bill it to Eastland.
It's all
We
good.
have an amended site plan.
Oh, yeah.
Bye-bye, Joe.
No, that's canceled.
Is it?
I
Number
have a-
4 is canceled.
I have a letter granting you an extension till next meeting from Wendy Beltramini on number 4.
Okay.
Okay.
And,
Waiver of site plan, 113 Cedar Street, Candy Flavors. Okay.
Where the hell is Candy Flavors?
I never heard of that.
I never heard of that one.
Where is that? One candy fa- is that-
113 Cedar.
It's eye candy.
It's eye candy?
Yeah,
Where is that?
113 Cedar.
Here. Just north of where the cell towers are on Route 85.
Oh, for
North of
God's sake.
495.
Oh, in the,
Oh,
in those
wow.
buildings?
Did you want me to read through it, babe?
Yes.
The applicant requests waiver of site plan approval for a change of use in one unit at 113 Cedar Street, in Unit S3. So it's Unit 3 in the south building, to establish an office and assembly prepackaging company on the subject property. The proposed use is to replace the former contractor's office and display area at this location. The building currently contains multiple commercial and industrial uses. The proposed change of use will not increase traffic and will not increase the parking requirements for the overall site. The site plan waiver is to authorize a change of use, as well as to confirm compliance with various parking and handicap access requirements. Therefore, I recommend waiver of the requirement for full site plan review, provided an updated plan is provided for planning board signature. We have basically either favorable or no comment reports from everybody except the Commission on Disabilities. And the Commission on Disabilities' initial memos are in the packet, but there had been some additional conversations between the applicant and the Commission on Disabilities and the building commissioner. So I think they're finally on the right track. It's just that we still don't have the final site plan, as I mentioned in my report. Attached to the packet, the last 3 or 4 sheets are site plans of the area. But I think we want to have a legible site plan that shows a compliant handicap parking arrangement, which we should be able to have shortly. And then I'll just bring it to either to the next meeting, or if you're in town, you could stop by and sign off on it. So I would still maintain that you'd waive the requirements, but with that condition that you bring in a new plan that's accurate.
Who did the original plans?
I don't recall. It was quite some time ago,
Yeah,
as you can tell from the bad Xerox copies they provided.
okay.
I'll agree with his recommendation. Waiver of the requirement for full site plan, provided an updated plan is provided later.
I'll second that, yep.
Been moved and seconded that we grant the waiver of site plan review, provided we get an upgraded site plan from the applicant. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous of 3.
They do a lot of work, taking pictures and everything.
Yeah, Larry, just let me know when they get it in, though.
Can we go ahead?
No, it's just, let me know when they get it in, I'll
Oh, yes.
just go in here. Yeah, go ahead.
Agenda item 6, ZBA variance request, 6 Fruit Street. The applicant requests a variance to allow for the conversion of a single-family dwelling to a two-family dwelling on the subject property. The property consists of a 9,000 square foot parcel with only 52 feet of frontage. Construction has been commenced without building permits, and a second front entrance has already been installed. The structure is also encroaching on the required front yard setback. Although the applicant is seeking a variance from all of the above noted deficiencies, a special permit's also required for all two-family dwellings on lots between 12,000 and 16,000 square feet. The only hardship that exists is self-created by commencing work without permits or approvals. Therefore, I recommend an unfavorable report be forwarded to the ZBA. What I have also determined is that, or at least as I understand it, the applicant was aware that two-family units would need the other approval. He was aware he needed some building permits and that he wasn't able to just convert the house to a two-family. So I guess I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for that. But in terms of his request, the actual notice for the zoning board hearing was published as a variance and/or special permit as necessary. So as far as I know, it will proceed at the next ZBA hearing with proper notice,
Well,
even though he didn't apply correctly.
Did he take out a building permit for this at all?
No,
no,
of
he
course
didn't.
not.
He did all the work without a building?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, babe, I go
Two
by
front
that
doors.
street all the time, and he has been working on that house for months and years, and he's got the two doors on and say, wants to be a duplex. I've been to the building commissioner, I asked him if he's checked him out, and, he's never gotten back to me, really. So I really believe that we should send an unfavorable recommendation to the ZBA, and including some kind of a letter that this person has been working on this house without a building permit, and now he's looking for us to give him an okay on it. I don't know how the
I'll
rest of
agree
you
with
feel.
that.
What?
I'll agree with that. So you made the motion, I'll
I
second it.
made the motion, yes.
Been moved and seconded, we give,
Unfavorable.
forward an unfavorable recommendation to the zoning board of appeals. Also, that we write a letter stating that, the work has been done without a building permit.
Right? Yeah.
Well, they'll get my letter, is that? I
Oh,
mentioned it in
okay,
there, is
they'll
that-
get your letter, okay.
No, they get another one.
That's what I'm asking, you want an
Yeah.
additional?
Oh, yes.
All right.
Okay, good.
You want to sign it, I'll sign it, either way.
All right.
Okay, all those, any further discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Unanimous of 3. Unfavorable. What's that? You can have anything you like.
When is that ZBA meeting? Do you know?
Next week, I think.
Is it next week?
John want his?
Okay.
No, John, you don't want your letter here, do you?
Yeah, I want mine.
You want your letter?
What do you want?
That's fine.
Is this the letter?
Just the top.
Maybe I'll throw it over.
The 13th? Okay.
Well, there's another whole set here if you want.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, special permit for 163 Cedar Street.
Do you want me to read through?
Sure.
Applicant requests a ZBA special permit to demolish the existing single-family dwelling and build a new single-family dwelling on the subject property. Currently, the lot is non-conforming as to lot area. The replacement of the existing house will therefore require a special permit from the ZBA. The proposed dwelling will meet all setback requirements, and no variances are being sought with this application. Therefore, I recommend a favorable report be forwarded to the Zoning Board of Appeals. This is more of a technicality. Everything complies, it's just a non-conforming lot.
Pleasure of the board.
I'll move for a favorable report to the zoning.
I'll second that.
We moved in second, we forward a favorable report to the zoning board of appeals. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Unanimous of 3.
Give me a sheet.
The eighth item on the agenda was a continued discussion on the possible zoning amendments. We'd basically already talked about all of them. I kept it on because we really I ought to get a vote from you so I can send a letter to the selectmen to put them on the warrant so they can remand them to you for hearing. So I would suggest all of them, but item C, which was the supplemental apartment issue that we hadn't resolved in terms of whether we even needed to make a change. The building official and I think we do, but we'll come back and talk about that at a later time. So item A was additional uses in the business park district. Item B was deleting the regulations for swimming pool fences because that's in direct conflict with state building code. Well, it should be D. Apparently I can't spell. The parking exemption, that would delete the parking exemption for special permits. And then E would be the update of the site plan procedures so that they reflect what really happens. And then the last one would be to prohibit gas stations in our downtown CA zone, since we finally got rid of the last one. And prevent any more from coming back. There's only 5 blocks downtown in the CA zone.
Gas stations are beautiful things.
Thanks, babe.
I'll agree to that, actually.
So if,
I agree with
if
Yeah, the
if
only
we-
one I have a problem with is a parking exemption too. I want to hold, I'd like to hold off at that till everyone's here before we push that one forward.
Good idea.
The parking exemption,
Yep.
babe?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, this would be, the proposal is to eliminate
I know.
the parking exemption for on special permits.
I know, I want the parking exemption.
Oh,
Because if you eliminate the parking exemption, and now you, on, especially in CB, and especially in CA, but CA that doesn't count, but
Right.
CB, some of the non-conforming buildings we have in CB, it just puts too much of a strain on the building owners.
So we're saying okay to A, B, F,
And
and
these
G.
people, yeah, and these people who have these buildings didn't build the buildings non-conforming, they bought them non-conforming,
A, B, E, and
so.
F, because
Nah,
he's got his, he's got his.
so what?
A,
It's still A, B, F, G on my sheet.
Right, yeah, right.
yeah, so the first 2 and the last 2.
Right,
All right,
I'll go with that.
I can do that.
Did you move?
So if
Yeah,
you
I
get a
did.
motion for that?
I moved.
Oh,
I'll
sorry.
second it.
Move the second, we forward these to the selectmen.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Unanimous of 3.
Thank you.
Is that all she wrote?
That's all she wrote, I think.
Move we adjourn.
Moved,
I'll second that adjournment.
second, all those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned, thank you.